The Battle of Supers. What? No, no Toyota Supras, but super graphics cards. Almost the same. Not really. Hi guys, Matthew here and welcome back again to my channel. Although they are not in the same price bracket, they are each other's super next of kin in Nvidia's current lineup. So I've decided to do this video for all of you out there who are maybe right in the middle of your purchasing decision and wondering if it's worth expanding your budget. Will you, besides getting a stronger GPU, also get a better value for your money? Since they are based on the same GPU architecture, their difference only measures in technical hardware specifications, that being the amount of CUDA cores, ROPs and texture units. Here the difference between them is actually not that big. The GTX 1660 Super has only 128 CUDA cores as well as 8 texture units more, but it does have exactly 50% more ROPs, 48 instead of 32. Another thing where GTX 1660 Super again has 50% more of it over the GTX 1650 Super, and that's the amount of GDDR6 video memory, where it brings 6 instead of 4 GB of video memory, which for sure helps with gaming at higher resolution. Their reference stock GPU clock speeds are pretty similar to each other. The boost clocks are somewhat different, while there's a significant difference in their stock video memory clock speeds, where the GTX 1660 Super clocks its video memory at 250 MHz more. But I wouldn't be too worried about that because it takes like 5 seconds in MSI's Afterburner in order to make the GTX 1650 Super run at that same speed or even a bit higher. The same goes for the GPU core clock speed when overclocking, where both of the cards usually top out at just a bit above 200 GHz mark, depending on your luck with the Silicon Lottery. With all of this said, it will be interesting to see by how much exactly will the GTX 1660 Super pull ahead from GTX 1650 Super, since they are not that far apart from each other in some areas. If you're interested in checking out these particular models which I used here for this comparison, both being MSI's Gaming X version of each series, you can find their individual reviews on my channel, and also if you wish to see how they stack up against currently one of the most popular value choice GPUs out there, AMD's RX 580 series, you can find those comparisons at the links in the right top corner of this video. Be sure to subscribe to my channel because in the next few days I'm hoping to get a RX 5500 series card and do some comparison with it against these cards. Let's first check out some side-by-side gameplay. The live performance figures and data are shown in the left top corner of the screen for each series card. Again, before I get to my benchmarking results, if you have any questions or other concerns about these cards, feel free to leave me your comment down below and I will try to help you out. And down there in the description box, to be precise, you can also find my setup, which I used for testing out these GPUs. And the core components are as per usual: Intel 6-core Core i5-8600K CPU overclocked to 5.1 GHz and paired with 2x8 GB of 3000 MHz DDR4 RAM. Jumping over to the results, the GTX 1660 Super is anywhere from 15 to 30%, in some cases even 40 or 50% faster, but when you average that in, it delivers around 20% more performance. All of this maybe won't mean a lot to you in 1080p titles, since you are already getting a decent amount of frames with the GTX 1650 Super. At 1440p it will topple over the 60 FPS mark in almost any title at high graphics settings. On the other hand, this performance jump in 1080p will also make a decent difference for all of those users who are playing at that resolution on high refresh rate monitors. When it comes to their power consumption, you can see that the GTX 1650 Super can pull up to around 130 watts, while for the GTX 1660 Super that's around 150 watts, so 20 watts more. Those figures being the power draw difference between the idle state and the load state of the whole system, but only of the graphics card during the Firmac GPU stress test. Since the performance increase of the GTX 1660 Super compared to the GTX 1650 Super basically scales with the extra power consumption that it needs in order to achieve it, the performance per watt difference pretty much boils down to a measurement error, which in a way is to be expected since they're based on the same GPU architecture. On the other hand, when you average in the FPS numbers and use that number to divide the MSRP price of each card, you'll come to a conclusion where the GTX 1650 Super represents a better value, as its price per frame is almost 20% lower compared to the GTX 1660 Super. Of course, if you really need that kind of performance, you will go for the stronger option, but if not, there is no real reason why you shouldn't save $70 and go for the cheaper GTX 1650 Super series. Here, as an alternative to that, once again in play also comes AMD's RX 580 series, which with its performance, one that is very similar to GTX 1650 Super, represents a great value in this lower price segment, especially now when the new RX 5500 series will push its price even lower, being it if you buy it new, while buying it used will get you even further value-wise, since the used market is full of them, together with its a bit weaker brother, the RX 570 series. Putting the GTX 1660 Super on the side for a moment, after all of the comparisons that I've lately done using these three cards, the RX 580 and the GTX 1650 Super series are currently the best value options for budget gamers who are aiming to spend around $120 to $160 for gaming at 1080p, basically without any care. That's it for this time from me. Thank you once again for watching. Please take a second to toss me a thumbs up if you enjoyed my content. That really helps a lot. And if you like what you saw, feel free to subscribe. And if you already are, be sure to press that notification bell down below so you don't miss out on a new video. And until then, catch you later, guys.